Okay, good morning, everyone. It comes our usual sharing session of the week, and this time we have the Cambodian labor law, which is quite a challenging one because for me I don't know much about Cambodia, not to mention about the law. So I'm very glad that we have this session today. And before we started, we would like to have a brief introduction of HRM and also myself. My name is Rita Chui. I'm the founder of HRM, and HRM is a HR community whereby we can connect and exchange ideas, hoping that we can add value to each other. And today we are very glad with Mr. Chen Thia from
Okay.
Cambodia, yeah, who is a very experienced HR practitioner. Currently, he is the VP HR or Suvana right? Jordana Firm. Sorry,
Another
I may
problem,
not
yeah.
be able to pronounce the name correctly. Investment company provide in Cambodia. I understand that recently he's very, very busy with the soft opening of a hypermarket there. And actually it's a big C there. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to pass the control to him. Thank you, Mr. That's your turn, Mr. Thanthia.
Okay, so thank you, Rita, for your good interactions. Yeah. So good morning, everybody. I hope that you could hear me good.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mr. Thanthia. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Shanti actually. Then today my current position is HRVP in Suvarnabhumi Investment, and I'm also the labor law practitioner in Cambodia for the about 17 years in the HR practice, including the labor law as well. So today I'm glad to present you about the some part of some briefing, main briefing about the Cambodian labor law. And then if you have any question, you can stop me and then read the question. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this is not more our the standard agenda. So we're gonna briefing all this kind of agenda, working hour, and your paid bonus or paid leave, and your leave, paid sick leave, maternity leave, parental leave, collective bargaining agreement, and the regarding the dismissal process, minimum wage, and the related unemployment insurance. And you can also ask me if also you have the concern out of this content. If I could share you, I also can share you for now as well. So working hours. So the standard working hours that defined by the Cambodian labor law is 48 hours a week. Um, and the maximum working hour is 8 hours. It's the working hours, and the 6 day working day and 1 day off. Actually, this practice, we can add the overtime 2 hours in the day. So total the working hour plus the overtime is 10 hours a day. This is the standard that mentioned by the law. And and also that the 48 hour actually is the best practice or the common practice. I would say the common practice in the factory, in the SME, and for the other company, yes, but the majority in the bank sector and in the other challenge sectors, they work only 44 or 40 hour a week. And the working day is only Monday to Friday. This is the best practice in the Cambodia in order to attract the talent, because some of the employee they use the weekend to join the university program and the weekend too, or they want to relax 2 days for the weekends. So this is the best practice is we use only 40 hours working hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so continue to the annual paid bonus. And actually, the we call normally we call the word 13-month bonus. Actually, the 13-month bonus is a common practice, but it is not required by law or recommended by the law to pay it. But if you practice it, it will become a law or will become, let's say, that a rule for your organization that you have to apply it.
Mm.
Yeah. The practice it can be the rule for your own organization. Because we have the case that in some factory, they provide a 13-month bonus every year is about 10 years, but then later the business down, the employer would like to cut this bonus, and then in terms of your rule is not clear to the employees, and then also you have been practicing for 10 years, and then you want to reject this bonus. We have have a case to the arbitration council, and at the end of the day, the company required to pay. So
I see. So I have a question, Mr. Chanthia.
yeah.
How about if you mentioned that 13-month bonus is a practice, right? Would that be stipulated in the contract? And if it's stipulated in the contract, if employee leaves the company in the middle of year, will he or she be eligible for that?
It depends your policy, Rita.
Okay.
If your policy mention, like for example, you mentioned about the 50% of the bonus is going to be paid before combined year, mean that every payroll or March, because April is the combined year, middle of April. So every payroll or March, you have to pay 50%. So if the employee resigns by end of March, they're supposed to get it.
Okay, so it depends on the company policy, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Understand.
Because this is not a mandatory. So the policy should be written clearly on this point and presented to the employee as well.
Okay, but if it's a company policy and the company doesn't do it when it happens, can the employee go to the labor court or the labor tribunal to sue the company for not paying them?
Yeah, normally it is a kind we call the personal conflict or individual conflict. So then the process is to go to we deal with the company. If the company not successfully deal with the employee, we go to the Ministry of Labor, Department of the Labor Dispute Department to make the conciliation put together. And if not success, we will the case to the court, not to the arbitration or council. Because the arbitration or council is subject to only the collective dispute only.
I see. Understand. Okay. Yeah, understand.
But I think about 80% company already paid the 13-month bonus in order to attract the candidate, attract the talents.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So paid leave, and actually in Cambodia, I think it's quite good as well in terms of paid leave, 18 days a year.
Very good.
Yeah. But when you have a completed year, but if you join mid of the year, it's subject to prorate calculations. For example, if you join in the first of the July, and then you have probation 3 months. After probation 3 months, some company they practice to give you the half year, let's say 18 days divided by 2, it call 9 days. You are eligible for 9 days for the first year that you entitled.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow, very good. You know, in Hong Kong, we start with 7 days. And,
yeah, you are quite busy. You don't need to take leave.
Yeah, so Cambodia is very lucky. I'm very lucky.
And then the 1 day increasing every 3 years.
Wow, so good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so far the problem is about that no cap of the limitation mentioned in the labor law. So some companies they practice 23 days. Some companies they practice 25 days the maximum in terms of the increasing. 18 days plus 7 days maximum. Some companies they apply 15 days plus 5 days the maximum total of the annual leave.
Yeah.
And at the end of the contract, the annual leave subject to be paid as well.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
For paid sick leave, okay. The sick leave will be divided by the period of the sick leave. I mean that there's a long leave with the medical certification proof by the doctor or by the hospital. So we could accept it as a sick leave. But if sick leave without a medical certification, we will not accept it. Yeah.
Okay.
But this shall be written in also your internal regulation properly. Yeah. Because in some company they practice that if you take let's say the normal sick leave, like you have a diarrhea, cold, just only 2 days or 3 days maximum, you are not required to show the sick leave, the medical certification. But if more than 3 days, you have to prove with the medical certification. So this they already mentioned clearly in the internal rule regulation.
Then I have a question here. You mentioned that 100% of salary to employees for sick leave taking on the first month, right? And then second and third month, 50% and so forth. So does it imply that I'm eligible for 30 days of sick leave in the first month, and that I'm eligible and I will be paid with 100%? Does it mean that?
Yeah, actually it means that the sick leave you have the entitled maximum only up to 6 months.
Up to how
Up
many?
to 6 months. 6 months.
6 months, but
Yeah.
you mentioned that in the first month.
Yeah, for during the 6th month, if you on the first month you are to be paid 100% of your salary, meaning that you got to pay full of your basic salary.
But if the first month, in the first month I take all days. That means I don't go to work for the first month, so I'm still eligible for 100% of the pay.
Yeah.
Wow, so good.
Once you have the proof with the when you have the proof with the consultations from the doctor or from the hospital.
So for the first month starts from the first of each month, right?
Any day we call actually the first month, it could be called from day 1 to the 30th.
Okay.
And we count in the calendar day.
Okay, from the 1st to the 30th. Okay.
Yeah, and back to the annual leave. For the annual leave, we will count only the working days, exclude the day off, and the public holiday as well. Or the annual leave. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Sorry.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. Okay.
So for the sick leave, we count as a calendar day.
Okay, calendar days. Okay. Okay, understand.
So after 6 months, the company had the rights to negotiate negotiate for the contract termination.
So how about if a new employee just joined the company and he immediately takes sick leave on the first month, is he still paid 100%? A new employee?
Actually, by law, they are any leave. They can take leave after they are entitled for 1 year. After they are working for 1 year. After the 1 year of the service, they can take leave.
Okay, so eligibility is after 1 year. Then they can enjoy all this kind of paid sick leave. Understand?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Even the annual leave too, but some company they want to practice that because it's too long. For 1 year that we hold the vacancy, they hold the annual leave for the employee. So that's why some of the practice that they just issue at the current year.
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For maternity leave. For the maternity leave, also the entitled after they join the company for 1 year. This is like the other leave, all the Kayong leave actually. And the period of the maternity leave is 90 days, counting the calendar days.
So altogether, the female employee would receive 120% of salary from.
50%. 50% is earned from the employee.
Yeah,
Earned by the employer, paid by the employer, and another 70% got from the government.
Oh, I see. So 120%, right?
Yeah.
During the time of maternity leave. Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of that's why a lot of employees get pregnant.
Not really, Mary.
The case.
How about you? How about you?
So Maria, are you now working in Cambodia?
Yes.
So this is your experience, right? A lot of female employees take maternity leave, right? Because the law is so good.
Yes.
Actually, in my previous company, JDI also motivate if you have one kid, they pay 1,000.
Okay. Very good benefit. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So the parental leave facility, this one is not clear by law, but also some company they practice to issue to provide it to the employee too.
We give 1 day.
Yeah,
Leave.
that is depend on the kindness of the employer. Then in my current company, they offer 5 days
Oh,
for paternity leave, because normally when the lady deliver a baby, they require to stay in the hospital 5 days, 4 days or 5 days. So then we offer 5 days of paternity leave. Yeah, but it is not required by law.
Yeah.
Collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is very good tool, actually, to support the both party to avoid the conflict of the interest happen, to avoid the conflict of the benefits, kind of benefit and the salary increment. So it is kind of the, let's say, it could be maintain the stabilization in the company for during the implementation of the CBA. So, and I'm lucky I have joined the 3 versions in the Cambodia airports for the collective bargaining agreement with the 2 unions.
I see. So for this CBA, right, collective bargaining agreement, does it only apply to companies who have a trade union?
Yeah, well, actually, if you don't have the trade union, you also can work it with the worker representative, but invalid for only 1 year.
Oh, only for 1 year. Okay, understand.
Yeah.
So joining in trade union is not compulsory in Cambodia.
That's
Can I
not
say that?
compulsory. Yeah, it's not compulsory for the trade union joining as a member. Yeah, and we try to avoid it as well.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, because let's say I would say that it's a kind of different system between the European or Western side union perception. But in Cambodia, they somehow they think the perception of the union is differently. You know, they think that if they don't complain, if they don't complain, they don't the employer will not consider to offer. But this in the Western side, the union they have a good knowledge, and then they have a specialist inside the each sector or industrials that can develop or improve the productivity of the company. But in here is let's say just only form a team, they can perform a union.
Okay, so what is the benefit for the employees if they have joined the trade union?
Actually, it depends on the environment of the company, I would say. When the company have a good environment and so on, they don't care much. They don't care. They don't concern about the union, trade union. And some companies they have a good practice in terms of industrial relations that work closely with the worker representative, or we call shop steward by law. And then that we can listen voice of the employee properly and discuss on the issue, deal with any internal conflicts properly. So I think they don't need to go to the union side. If we don't control on the industrial relation part for the big side company, and then the small issue become the big issue, and then also a lot of rumor created and so on, so that they become a low trust with the employer. This is the time that the union side can be go in and then lobby the employee to create the union, because they want to gain the trust, to get the trust from the our employee, and the employee just give them the right to become their representative in the name of the employee to negotiate with the employer
Oh,
for
oh,
the working condition and the benefits of increment and so on.
I see, I see. Do employees have to pay anything to the trade union every month or every year?
Yeah, they can, this depend on the policy actually, but the practice they contribute the monthly fee.
They pay only about like 25 to 50 cents.
Okay, per month, right?
Yes.
It depends, and it depends on the union. They have the agreement with our employee. There's some company they only pay 1,000 real for the like kind of factory sector.
Some
So
employees pay 2,000.
yeah, but then also in my previous company, my airport, they collect $1
It
per month.
depends on the union.
It depends on the union have the agreement with the employee, and then they submit the agreement that they have been dealt with the both parties, sent to the employers, and the employer they are required to support the union in terms of the deduction the salary of the employee in terms of this fee, and then pay to the union. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Because the concept of trade union is not that popular in Hong Kong. It's not that common in Hong Kong. We only restricted to a few professions or a few business. So it's not that common or popular in Hong Kong. That's why I'm very interested in this trade union in Cambodia. How does it work and so forth.
Yeah. That's why in the company they try to get the best practice in terms of how to deal the complaint of the employee, how to receive the complaint, and then give the feedback properly.
Yeah.
And then the practice is become a tool in the company that management required to practice it properly. So to avoid any, let's say, small conflict to become a big conflict, and then to become a big problem.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah.
And also the union, they always some employee they trust on the union when they, let's say, they have the issue with the contract termination that have been done by the employer side, so the union have the, let's say, more powerful to support them in the dealing up to the arbitration or cancel or the court.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So the valid of the CBA is not exceed 3 years, and if during the if the after the expiration of the CBA, if the both party cannot, let's say, find a deal with the new CBA agreement, so the old CBA going to be applied for 1 year.
Yeah.
And this the CBA need to be registered and also translated in combined version to the Department of Labor in the Ministry of Labor, to the Department of this dispute and the Ministry of Labor.
Yeah.
If you don't register, it's not official.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is for the regarding the termination contract. So actually, when you have a contract termination, you should have a proper design and process inside the organization through your internal rule regulation or your, let's say, termination policy and procedure to make sure that the employee gonna be gonna accept your process, gonna accept your reason of the justification, your reason on the termination, and then also the proven that you have to show to them as well. And then you actually the mainly of the gross or misconduct is to refer to the Article 83 of the labor law, but also you can to refer to the other article as well. But mainly of the result of the gross or misconduct stated in the Article 83 of the labor law. So the process of the termination, not we need to work it with our worker representative, because all the industry are required to have the worker representative. So then we have to have the, let's say we should call them into the panel, disciplinary panel, and led by the HR, with the support team by the operation or department concerns. Then also we also invite the worker rep as a witness that can be selected by the chosen by the employee.
Okay.
So then then the minute meeting of this process you should need to be done properly, and then get everyone signed to be your concrete document when you have further process to the court or to the arbitration or consent somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally the kind of after the disciplinary panel, and then we have the minute meeting. So and then the HR gonna be analyze the minute meeting, link to refer to the law, refer to any rule of the law of the company, because some company they don't refer to only one law, like the labor law. Like in the airport, we have the aviation law, we have the ICAO law that impact to the security or the norm, the standard of the working. So we can refer to any law that related to the job. Yeah. So this kind. So it depends on how the HR smart only work only on the termination process. Yeah. So once you have the proper evidence to prove the process, so you have the strong case, even you have to go to the court also that you're going to have a strong case.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So normally in the Cambodia, the worker, the union side, they try to use these we call the individual conflict, because termination one guy like this is called individual conflicts, and then the union side they try to add up to the other conflict linked to the working condition, and then they put it together as a collective conflict. By end of the termination case inside there and pass it to the Department of Labor and split it up to the arbitration or cancel, because they don't want to go to the court. They prefer to go to the arbitration or cancel. Yeah.
And in Cambodia, is there anything called summary dismissal? Meaning that if an employee is found with a very serious misconduct, such as bribery, corruption, embezzlement, and so forth, then the company can dismiss the employee right away. So does it have this kind of summary dismissal in Cambodia, and how do they handle it?
Yeah, actually, the dismissal we call cross-organ conduct. This is kind of dismissal. So termination can be terminated through the two different kinds you can call. One is due to the cross-organ conduct, and the second is due to the misconduct. But if it is not a cross-organ conduct, it is subject to pay differently.
Okay.
Yeah, if you found that you terminate this employee, and then the reason is not linked to the gross conduct, you have to pay them the other item, like we call the damage. The damage, the damage fee, and then also the indemnity pay.
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
But if due to the gross conduct, we don't pay this item. We pay only the remaining item called like the annual leave, salary, OT that they have been earned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you pay them, if you terminate them, and then the assistant under the cross of the contract, but they have the misconduct, you have to pay them the notice period, you have to pay them the indemnity, you have to pay them the special, the rebate.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of other item that you need to pay them based on the law.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the termination of if you want to terminate of any called the worker, worker representative, and also let's say the group of the union leaders that they cover under the special labor law, because they have special rights in labor law, because they have the right to protect them for the union and the worker representative. So if you want to terminate this group for the worker, for the union, we had a president, vice president, and treasury. So three guys. If you want to terminate the three guys, you have to request it to the Department of Labor or Ministry of Labor first. You have to write your proposal to the Ministry of Labor for the termination process, for the termination decision. Yeah. So if you after investigation properly by the Department of Labor, by Department of the Labor Disputes, the ministry, the minister of the ministry is gonna have issue us letters to provide a decision on the termination, yes or no. If they don't allow you to terminate, you cannot terminate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I especially terminate of one of the vice president union.
Yeah.
It's a very good case. We write the proposal, the ground of the special, the impact, and then we invite the inspector from the Ministry of Labor to investigate the case. We cooperate with them to investigate the case. They interview all the concerned people and so on, and they write a report to the Ministry of Labor for the decisions.
Yeah.
So finally, we found the minister agreed to provide us the right for terminations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the guys that was under alcohol during the working time, and then his position is marshalling. They do a marsh signal to the aircraft. So this is a very serious in terms of the safety reason for both the aircraft and also the passengers, even also the other aircraft device too, because the aircraft already landed. So then if they have any burning out, so then they're going to impact to the whole, along the whole airport. So that's why we try to put up all the law regarding the law of the aviation and so on, then to lobby the government, to prove to the government in order to request for termination. So at the end of the day, we receive it to agree for termination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The minimum wage is we have the committee that appointed by the government to discuss on the minimum wage every year. And I'm also a member to discuss this one as well with the union sides. So they have the three parties in terms of discussion. One is from the government, and one is from the employer side, and another one is from the union sides. So we discuss together to find out the reason of the increment, how much you should increase with this amount, and then they have the president and HO, the let's say the argument support the idea. Yeah. So this year, next year we will increase from 182 to the 190 US dollars for the minimum wage.
Is this per month or what, or per year or what?
This is the basic salary per year, 180 US dollar per month. Oh, sorry, per month. This is 190
Per month, right? Per month, right?
US dollar per month.
Okay.
And then this apply only for specific factor like the textile, footwear. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Not
So
the whole company, not the whole country, just only some sector.
that means for other industries, they can pay less than that?
Yeah, they can, but they should consider about the if they can recruit, they can find the people pay less than that. They can do it. Because,
That is true.
yeah, but actually, some of the other company they cannot pay less than that because some of the people will not work for you.
That is true. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
So we call the NSSF is called this is a kind of the security fund launched by the government. So the security fund, we have the two parts for now. One is a work-related accident and one is a healthcare. So the employer is required to pay it for the mandatory to all the employees from the day one. And the work-related accident is also including the commune to work back and forth from home to work and work to home as well.
I see. So nothing about retirement?
Actually, we don't have any retirement law yet, but the pension fund is gonna be issued in next year, as confirmed by the Ministry of Labor. But we don't see how the picture look like of the pension fund. But as I heard, we're gonna save 4%.
Okay, 4%, right? Okay.
Yeah, 4% saving, and composed by 50% from the employer and the employer.
Oh, 50-50, meaning that 2%
Meaning
from
2% each.
employer
Yeah.
and 2% from employee.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I think at the end come to the end of the section. So if you have any more questions,
I wanted
yes.
to know the biggest labor challenge in Cambodia. Can you share with me, or Marie can also share as well, since you are also in Cambodia? What do you think would be the biggest labor challenge in Cambodia?
It depends on the area where you're located. It depends on the location, actually. Like for example, I'm because Bong Chantia is in Phnom Penh. Bong, you're in Phnom Penh, right?
Yes, and in province.
I haven't seen you for a long time. When is our next meeting?
Okay, it depends on you. You organize it.
I'm waiting for the team.
But what is the biggest labor challenge? I understand it depends on the location, but what would that be?
The location. Because like for example, for me, I'm located here in Sihanoukville. So now we have a big issue in Sihanoukville in terms of manpower and recruitment. Because like there's a lot of new hotels, casinos coming in. So and there's no enough manpower. So it's saturated. So it's really challenging, and currently now it's quite difficult to find people.
So what do? Import laborers, import people from other countries into Cambodia?
We cannot actually like hire because in Cambodia we have this quota, so we are only allowed to hire foreigners if we cannot find Cambodian people, and we are limited to 10% of the total manpower.
Okay, only 10% of the employees are
Local
they
employees.
that means they can only allow 10% of foreign workers in your company.
Yeah, we're allowed only like 3% for office, different percentage per each skills. So it's also not really a big factor to hire a foreigner. And although I'm an expat HR, I'm still leaning to hire local people
Yeah,
rather than to hire expats.
that is true because of the cost issue and a lot of the things that you need to
Yes,
consider as well, right?
yes.
I see, I see. How about Mr. Shanthil? What is considered to be the biggest challenge in Cambodia, according to your view?
Yes, the biggest challenge also the for the Cambodia is about the recruitment too, and also the soft skill for the our let's say our labor.
Soft skills.
Yeah.
So how are you going to tackle it then?
Actually, we have our own the good retention program for the our current employee and the attractive for the new employee.
Mhm.
And through the employer branding, the pay competitive, like in the FFCG, we have to design a good pay scheme for them, including the social insurance and so on.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
guy that we have to play on with
yeah.
to be a good strategy for HR.
Mhm.
Also, at the same time, we have to develop their personal competency by our own organizations.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
Also, the challenge is high turnover rate.
Oh, really? Because of
Yes.
the opportunities, right, in Cambodia,
Yes.
they are
Yeah,
giving a lot of.
it's depend on the company environment too. Yeah, therefore, like in JDR, even I joined, the turnover rate is quite low because it's about 1 to 2% only. Because the people stay there, they expected to grow in our organizations. So
Mm,
then, when I joined there, we try to build a good connection between the employer and the employee, and then we become like a family. And also, the our working environment is quite good in terms of discussion session, sharing session, town hall session, TGL meeting section. Yeah. So then the top management and the employee have closely talked to each other to understand each other. Yeah. And then also we have the kind of new launch product portfolio sessions. Even the office also need to go and support the operation session to understand about the operational issue. Yeah. And also um, when we have the opportunity, we always think about our internal. We always practice let's say the talent development throughout our organizational needs. So we plan ahead who got let's say the potential for in what position and that we are having soon or we are having in the next year. So we take a 1 year, 2 year development for our employee to be ready for the coming growth of the trend of the organizations. So when the organization success expanded, we have ready for our employee to move on. So mostly we engage the employee in at the entry level or the other specialized skill that we cannot let's say give it opportunity to our internal, but some let's say position we are able to feel internally only. So that's why they feel very happy with the our management.
yeah, yeah, it's very true. But if I challenge you that okay, if you there is only one thing that you can do in order to connect your staff and so that your staff will feel good about the company, what would be the one thing that you will do? You think is the most important thing that will help you to establish good relationship with your staff and your staff will feel good about the company and ultimately your staff will stay with the company. What would be the one thing that you will do? If only one thing that you can do, what would that be?
So the employee engagement is very important.
Ah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Employee
We also have
engagement.
even we are small at that time, we also have done our employee engagement survey to
ah,
understand about the needs of the
Employees.
employee, the expectation from the employee to our top management, and we listen to them. Even we build a new office from the when we have the moving the rep office from the small office located with our distributor, we become to our own office. We also do surveys about the opinion how the office look like that they want. Yeah, some of the guy they want to have the office like the Google office. There's some of the guy who want to have the mini bar inside the office that you can enjoy the train because of after the working time is the traffic quite jam, so spend a lot of time to reach a restaurant and so on. And so that's why they want to save time and enjoy in the office. Yeah, they want to have the relaxing area. They want to have open meeting table. Also kind of like that. We collect all the idea and we design the office to what they need.
yeah, that's very true. And staff engagement. Okay, so Marie, do you have anything to share on this topic about the one thing that we can do as employer to keep the
Yeah,
staff?
I actually agree with Mong Chantia. It's yeah, it's staff engagement. You have to engage the staff with the company, cultivate their commitment,
Yeah,
and work on the efficiency. And another thing is training. Training is very important and integral part for them to really like work efficient at the same time.
yeah,
They will grow within the company. So if you provide them with the right training and the right skills and knowledge, then they will stay. At the same time, they can grow with you.
yeah, that is true. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you have any things that you want to share with the, on this occasion?
I think for now just only provide the first section on the let's say the main information related to the main labor law in Cambodia. And
Yeah,
then later I might talk to consider about the how can we share some process,
yeah,
in terms of dealing with the labor law inside organizations. How can we build a good process in terms of industrial relations in order to engage our employee?
yeah,
Yeah, so for this.
yeah. There are lots of things to learn from there as well. Okay, so I think if no other comments from both of you, or yeah, so now we will conclude the session today. And once again, a big thank you to Mr. Chanthio for spending your
Yeah.
time on this presentation. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll organize a watch party so that other people can also know more about the labor law there in Cambodia. Okay, so that's the end of the session today, and have a very great weekend. Thanks a lot. Okay, bye
Okay, thank
bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye. Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye, Richard.
Bye. Thanks. Bye bye.